Spartan06 here, and today I'm showing you Richtofen's Easter egg for buried. Now, I'm showing you what you have to prepare for and what items you have to get that are required to complete the Easter egg. So you have to break that fountain that I just showed you, and you have to get a paralyzer from the box, and as well as getting a paralyzer, you need to get time bombs. And on top of that, you should get a ray gun or ray gun Mark II throughout the game. You need to get one player needs Galvan Knuckles, and you need you should have 4 people to get scavenger. The only reason you would have 2 or 3 is if you're in like a bind or something, but I really strongly suggest you get 4 people to get scavenger, or else you pretty much need 4 people to have scavenger. But it's not impossible to do it through 2 or 3 people. Then you want to get the PW wall buy off the wall. I suggest that you store a lot of your points in the bank in a previous game, because it'll just make this game so much more easier, because you want to do the Easter egg by around 5 or 6, and 6 at like the most, because it starts getting really hard. I know it doesn't sound like it would get harder around 6, but the last couple of steps are in the maze, and then getting a crawler and stuff kind of is hard at those rounds because of the confusion that's going on with the Easter egg. So the first step is to build the guillotine. Now the first part is in the barn. These parts never move. They're always in the same spot. And that was an antenna that I picked up. And then this is the guillotine where you're going to be building these parts. And a lot of the Easter egg takes place at this guillotine. It's outside the gunsmith and across from the saloon. Then the next part is in the tunnels. And it's in this, I'm going to show you in a few seconds where it is. It's a crystal that you need to get. And you can only hold one of these parts at a time. And you want to build it here, back at the guillotine. And the next part is in the saloon, and it's like I don't know how to explain it, like a radio transmission thing, and you just want to grab it. And then the next part is over here, the coil in the gunsmith, and you want to grab it and then go and build it. Alright, step 2 is energize the orbs, and you want to shoot the orbs with the paralyzer until you hear this ding that you're about to hear. Yeah, that. And when you hear that ding, then you know you're good. There's 4 orbs around the map. The second one is where you buy scavenger through the rocks and right over here. The next one is in the tunnels. You don't have to shoot that light, just shoot the orb with your paralyzer. And Richtofen speaks to Samuel, and he speaks to Samuel when you complete, or when you progress through the Easter egg. So if you're not sure you did something, always look for Richtofen's speech. And that's where the last orb is, outside the witch's house, right before you go back into the witch's house. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is acquire the lantern. This lantern comes down from the ceiling, and you just want to throw a grenade at it, hold it, and then throw it, and then it'll knock down the lantern, and then you want someone to go pick it up. And then your next step is you have to go into the witch's house, and when you're in the witch's house, the person with the lantern, as you can see, it's right next to the candy, you want to kill witches near him and have him kill most of the witches, and you'll hear these dings. That means it's filling up the lantern. Now when you're fueling the lantern, when you hear like the highest pitched ding, or when you feel like you haven't heard a ding in a while, and you probably did it, you probably killed enough witches, then you're going to go back and check in this area if like this little symbol appears, and I'll show you that in a minute. But you have to kill a lot of witches, because we're still hearing some dings. And so you want to build the lantern on top of the gunsmith roof right over here. This will appear, and you want to build it right here. And then when you build it, this code will come up on the wall, and this right underneath me is how to decipher the code that's on the wall. It's pretty simple to decipher once you get used to it. So the first line is the first sign. That there's signs are all around the tunnel, and they all have names on the signs. And so what you want to do is you want to have the first line is the first sign you have to hit, second line, second sign you have to hit, third line, third sign you have to hit. And the first letter, you have to decipher the first letter of each line to know the first letter of the sign that you have to hit and what order you have to hit them in, because the order always changes. Now, if you just go back to that, go rewind this video, and you just look at that little decipher, it'll be much easier, and it'll understand if you just look at it a little more. It's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of like you have to look at it and figure it out. But everything you need is in that picture that I made. And okay, so when you hit all 3 signs correctly, this blue orb appears, and what you have to do is you have to run into the orb. You don't have to hold X, you don't have to hit punch it or anything. You just run into it and it moves. Now it moves all around the map, so you only have 4 people scattered around. That's just one person up near the barn, one person up by the tunnel who's hitting the signs, then another person over here, and then the 4th person would be like, I don't know how to explain. Like near, like sometimes it could go under the bank, and that's kind of hard to get to really quickly. So we have one person ready to go underneath the bank, or something, or around that area. And then when it gets to the guillotine, you just have to touch it one more time. And when you kind of touch it, it'll go to the crystal, and then you'll have that step done. Now what you want to do is you want to. Okay, so the energy shoots at the zombies, and like their hands light up and their head lights up, and those zombies that have that lit up, you want to kill those zombies until you have about 6 of those blue orbs circling the crystal. I'll show you. I'm giving you an example of what it looks like. This is just what everything looks like with scavenger, but you see that how it flew on his hands, and then my friend killed the zombie, and now there's 2 spheres going around the crystal, or now there's 3 because they just killed another one of those zombies. Now after you get all the orbs on, afterwards, after Richtofens speaks to you, after you hear the cowboy song go off, because that goes off to signal you finished the steps, like the full cowboy song that you're hearing right now. And you want to throw a time bomb on top of the guillotine afterwards, after you've completed the step. You want to throw a time bomb onto the guillotine after Richtofens speaks to Samuel, and in between your rounds, like we did at 3, and then when 4 started, that's when you want to have everyone touch the guillotine, and then someone press the time bomb. So it's after 3 and into 4, right when you see the next round spawn, that's when you want to do it. Okay, now you want to search the bodies and find a switch. These bodies are laid around all across the map, all laying down. Most of them are outside. Some of them are inside the buildings, but most of them, for the most part, are outside. You want to check where the orbs are. None of them are in the tunnels, but that one orb that I showed you earlier in your scavenger, there could be a body there. There could be a body all over here where I'm running. There could be bodies over here where I'm running, and by the carriage right before the jail cell, and over here there's a body. And there's 4 of them, and you want to search them until you find a switch. You have about 45 seconds, 50 seconds to search the bodies and find the switch. And when you're running up here, oh, that doesn't matter, but the zombies don't die around infinity. Okay, so now you want to build the switch onto the guillotine. And it doesn't matter who picks up the switch, just someone has to find it. And after you do this, Richtofen should speak to Samuel, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not sure about that actually, but you have to end up going to the maze. Now with a ray gun or a ray gun Mark II, destroy this fountain that's in the middle of the maze, and that yellow light will appear underneath the fountain, and what that does is it allows you to go back to spawn. This part, very confusing. You have 2 options here, the way I see it. You pick a certain combination like red, green, blue, and yellow, and you do it 24 times, and hopefully in those 24 times it works. Or you do random combinations, and then until you see a spark. So if you do red, blue, green, yellow, and you see yellow spark, then you know that you have to do yellow last every single time, no matter what. So always go by that. Always go by the spark. If something sparks, that's the number you have to do it in. And since the maze changes each time, this becomes very hard. If you mess up, then just jump back into spawn and go around. You'll know you mess up if Richtofen doesn't speak. And if this doesn't work, you hold X on that fountain, and when you hold X on that fountain, you'll these targets will appear after you do the maze, and they appear in 4 different spots. They always appear in the same spots in every game, so it's not like you have to decipher code or something. But you have to hit every single target. I'm showing you the best spots to be in to shoot all these targets on with the 4 players. And this is why you need 4 players. And when you hit every single target, you'll get 7 perks. This takes a very, very long time to do. But you can miss shots. It doesn't matter if you miss shots. You can't miss the targets, though. Everyone has to hit all their targets. So I'm showing you what happens after everyone hits their targets. This took us a good 2 hours to do this step. And you get 7 perks, and the achievement will pop up. I recorded this afterwards, so it didn't pop up there. But yeah, so to my subscribers, I'm sorry about how long it took for this video to come out. It's just I had so many editing problems, and if you do, there's a special ending that you could get if you're unaware of that. But search it. Someone has it up there. I know NGT Zombies has it up there, and a bunch of other people. But I'm gonna be doing this the ending, but it's gonna take a while for me to get it done because you need 4 people to have all of Richtofen or all of Max's Easter eggs done on Transit and Diarize and this map and have all the nav cards in. So that's kind of hard for me to do right now. But I'm really trying, and I'm very, very sorry that this took so long. I really apologize. I'm going to be going back into a regular schedule now that this video is finally up. And I'm just really, really, please drop a like because this took very long to do. Please like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe because this took a very, very, very long time to do. Thank you, and this has been Spartan296, and as always, I'll see you later.